Okay, so the first one is hold one's breath, and that's an idiom. It's to interrupt or stop normal breathing for a moment in the context of this article. But for example, holding your breath can cure hiccups. But to hold one's breath would be to wait for something to happen, wait for an action. So if you were, say you lent a friend some money, but he's very famous for not paying money back, you could say, well, I lent Stephen, I don't know, 20,000 won, but I'm not holding my breath to get the money back. It means something you don't expect to happen. You would say, I'm not holding my breath. So when it's an idiom, that's the context you use it. Or you could say, I'm not holding my breath for things to get better in the UK at the moment because the situation is very bad. Or I'm not holding my breath that the rain's going to stop, so I'm going to take an umbrella out with me. So that's to hold one's breath. Then we've got appetite, a natural desire to satisfy a bodily need, especially for food. I lost my appetite when I saw the gruesome pictures of those dead animals. So yeah, appetite generally means for food, but you can have an appetite for lots of things. So you can have an appetite for watching soccer, you can have an appetite for gardening, an appetite for learning languages, anything that you are very passionate about and interested in. And you could say, if there's something you weren't necessarily interested in before, but you've only recently started liking it, you could say, I now have an appetite for, or I've got my appetite back for something. So say you studied English for a long time, you stopped, you're studying again, you say, I've got my appetite back, I'm hungry again to learn. Double whammy, a situation where two bad things happen at the same time. Example, she had a double whammy when she lost her cell phone and failed her interview on the same day. So yeah, when two bad things happen at the same time. It's actually pretty similar to insult to injury. It's a similar idiom. So you could say, for example, my bag broke, all my stuff fell out of my bag, and a double whammy, it started raining as well. It got wet. So when two really bad things happen at the same time. So if someone stole your handbag or your bag and then you fell over as well, that would be a double whammy. Slip backwards, to move quietly and cautiously back to someone or something. The protesters slipped backwards when they saw dozens of police cars coming from afar. So yeah, it can mean physically move backwards. It can also mean metaphorically move backwards. So you could say, if you gave up smoking, but you started again, you could say, I'll slip backwards into smoking again. Or if you worked really hard on a project and you nearly completed it, but a lot of your last information was lost, your computer broke, you could say, I'll slip backwards, I've got lots to do. So it means nearly achieving something, but then it getting taken from you. Dishearten, to cause to lose hope or enthusiasm. So dispirit. So for example, Mindy was disheartened when her flight got cancelled because of the bad weather. So anything that makes you a little bit upset about something. So if Korea were playing, I don't know, Japan in soccer, and Japan scored an early goal, you could say, well, I hope the team don't get disheartened because Japan have got an early goal. Or you could say, how did you do in your exam or a job interview? You could say, I'm a bit disheartened because I don't think it went very well. Bombard, assail, persistently, as with questions, criticisms, or information. So for example, after the election, the incoming president is bombarded with a lot of questions from the media. So bombard can mean a lot of things. It can mean physically to bomb. If somewhere was bombed during a war, it would be bombarded repeatedly with bombs and stuff. You could say London was bombed a lot bombarded by the Germans during the Second World War. If a politician does something really bad, you can bombard them with questions. If you see someone in the streets, if people are shouting at you, bombard them with abuse. Police get bombarded a lot with protests, with things. So anything, it's a negative word, really, but it's something coming a lot. Okay, that's bombard. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions?